Good evening. Welcome back to the Spirit of Watercolor with Linda. How are you this evening? I'm glad you're joining me. And we're continuing on with our abstract art here. We're going to go from the non-representational one we did, which means no subject, no image. It's just paint applied. If you think of Jackson Pollock, he poured and dripped paint, and it was non-subject, no subject. And that's what we did here. And it doesn't look like much of anything at the moment, right? However, we're going to make that become more of an abstract, like I did with this one. This one I showed you in the prior one, and it's where I took it and it kind of resembled, inside of this, it's a little dusty. I saw like what I thought was like an insect here. And so I just kind of went with that and, put the little eye in, and there's like a leaf shooting out this way, just watercolors and grasses I emphasized with some blacks. So we're just going to look at something like that. Now, in this piece, you're going to see me come in around what I see. When I look around at this one, I'm seeing like a bird, and you will see me bring this bird out. Okay, where is that bird, right? That's in the eye of the beholder at the moment, right? But I'm going to bring it out so you can kind of see the bird. I can kind of see his body and his feathers and his head, and I'm going to bring that out. And then it's still going to be an interestingly abstract piece. I don't have quite the right size mat here, but we'll kind of change that into, and then mat around it out. And we're going to move on to the table. And this week we'll finish this up. And I'll also have another artist quote for you sometime during the week as well. I am scrambling a little this week, just so you know. I'll try to get these out before the week ends, like a quote in the next day or two, and then this video will be finished by the end of the week, and like I normally do. But I'm going on vacation the following week, of which I may be able to get inspired by the Osavo River, because we'll be out that way. And maybe the Heart with the Pines, we're going to be driving through. So stay tuned for that as well. I'll get some things while I'm away, grabbing information and inspiration on the trip. And then when I come back, we'll see what we can paint from what we find out on our journey. Okay, so stay tuned now for our abstract painting being finished and becoming something much more exciting, dynamic sometimes than just, and not that our beautiful landscapes and portraits and all those things aren't wonderful, still lives, they're all wonderful. But this is just a venture out if you're feeling a little bit adventuresome, so join me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you right here at the table. Okay, so here is our painting. I'm doing it on a vertical. I could have had it where the bird's kind of looking down that way, but he's kind of up this way. So at least for now, it's like I could have had it go either way. As I was saying, this non-representational piece, I'm taking, and I see this image of a bird in here that from part one, we painted the colors here, the color choices, and which were orange and yellow and some interference colors, which are these pearlescent shimmers and interference coppers and things like that. This one was, I haven't used that one. Yeah, I did use a little of that too, also, that mauve color. Anyway, now it's got some shimmer, but it's kind of subtle, but I'm probably going to add more. But right now I just want to kind of outline this bird, okay? To me, this is what it is. And when you're doing an abstract, that means it doesn't have to be an exact replication of a particular bird unless I want it to be. And so, I'm kind of thinking that I'm just going to let it be a basic bird image. And again, that's where the freedom of abstracts and non-reps are, is you have freedom to change things. Abstract means to take and make say if it was a human form, you could elongate the form, make the neck longer, make the body smaller or larger, exaggerate is one of the words I'm looking for. Okay, so just have it like it's going to be hiding in these colors here. So it's kind of the same colors as everything else, and yet, you know, there's this image in there. Okay, and I'm going to take, and I'm going to use some, I did wet the paper and tape it down, and I'm using some watercolor pencils, and you'll see me outline the bird more, and then I'll come in with some colors. I'm going to do some purples, you know, around the bird because it's opposite on the color wheel of yellow. And also you see some green in here. Well, I may do some more of that too, so that it pushes the bird out. You see him more in there. Okay, so I will probably just, you know, put on some music and just paint, and you can see how he becomes more evident. And then he still needs, I believe, a beak and eye to kind of bring the focus in. And then you know, we'll take a look again and decide from there whether we're finished or not, or if we want to add any more information in the background. So let's have fun. Let's give it a try. And I've had a lot of luck with these, and even honestly sold some pieces in the years past of very abstracted things. You can also put papers in here, which I'm debating, you know, the collage papers, the Japanese papers, but let's see if we need that. All right. Yes, so the bird is looking at me, and I'm going to start to, you know, get brushes out and things that I will use to create in here the background around the bird so that he pops out more. Again, you may not even see this bird. I'm going to get my pointed rounds and a flat brush. That always works for me. I think I might need a new flat brush someday. They lose their snap sometimes, and that means that instead of this snapping back, it kind of bends and holds the bend, which, you know, then you just have to flip the brush back and forth to keep it nice and straight when you're applying color and so forth. My paper's still wet, so I'm going to take my chosen watercolor pencils, which is this bronzy color, sort of a brown, purple color, bronzy colors. Yeah, this is the purple, I'm sorry. That's what I was kind of looking for, because I think that, you know, when I bring in some, I just kind of want to define where this bird is to my eye, and then the other things around the bird will become you know, background. It could be leaves or tree trunk or things like that going on, or you could be sitting on a limb. But, you know, you can add things now to this wonderful color. I can see the shimmering interference copper colors, which I think is what really kind of defined this bird to me. I'm just kind of looking for a while. I feel like I see a sort of the wing here. I feel like I see a tail here. Okay. And so actually, instead of coming in with watercolor pencil, I'm more tempted to just bring in some background around the bird and see what happens here. I'm going to pull some of the same colors onto my palette here. Pulling out my handy dandy palette, and you can see I use these bright colors here in the painting, the yellows and the but I like I said, I want to kind of start to bring out where he is, and I'm not sure about the wing yet. I'm gonna maybe look up some, I'm gonna go with some purple here, and you know, just kind of, I think because the colors behind this bird are the opposite on the color wheel, we should be able to get a more black color behind him here. So I'm just wanting to come up around his, what I call his body here, okay, and where I see it. And Just kind of create a little bit more separation between him and the background. Okay. And I will just kind of, as always, I don't want to get my head in there too much, but we're just kind of going to define. Okay, to me, his head is here, and yeah. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting in there and breaking the ice a little, so that I don't have. Then I'm just kind of washing it out so that it blends with the background, that stroke of purple, so that it isn't like a super purple line. It's just some dark atmosphere behind. I'm going to have to get closer with my eyes because I'm trying to see up here and not block the camera. That's always fun for me. Okay. But, yeah, we just kind of want to define where his wing is to his tail here. His tail is kind of over here to me. So I'm going to come in a little more here. And it can be a very soft suggestive, or it can be very defined, because we've got all this. But it also, this dark here is making these colors pop more here, which is his body in my mind. Again, this is an abstract, so I don't really feel that I want to get too... and this is just creating a dark, the opposites, a purple blending with the reds and the yellows. It's just creating a dark. Doesn't necessarily have to look like a purple, but it's more interesting than just putting black on here, which you could do. You could absolutely do that. As that's wetter, I'm just bringing in a little more of this purple to kind of make it a little more defined here. Okay, and then I'm going to have to go to work, so I'm going to come back, but I'm going to see how this kind of looks, you know. Of course, I'm trying to make sure I have a wing here, so I may do some shadow down in there. But I do think I want to look at some photos, and I'll show you a photo of a bird when I find one that is sitting like this. It has a similar shape and so on, but I'm kind of seeing my tail here, wing here, head here. I see an eye right there that's already somewhat defined. We need to think about a face and a beak. And it's going to be quite cool. Okay. And then, you know, here, if this gets too dark and just blah on the side, I can bring in some of those wonderful shimmering watercolors, those interference ones. And just maybe I think I really want, because there's something of that aquamarine over here. I want to bring more of that in over here. And just kind of blend it out so that it just blends in with the background. There may be a tree next to the bird. There may be, you know, things that are starting to come clearer as I go forward. This is the way I work. Like I say, if you want, you can just completely like draw this out with your pencils. It's just how I was thinking of going, you know, just coming in and, you know, starting to define this with these pencils, because this will get really dark if I do. And might create quite a line. I might want that in the body, you know, in the wing. I might want some of that here, you know, and then I can just like blend it with my brush, you see, because it's watercolor. And just kind of create more of the lines, more definition where I want it, right? Yep. So you'll see that aquamarine, a duochrome aquamarine, is on the side around the bird, trying to make it a little more atmospheric, and then you know, bringing in some lunar black down into the bottom there, creating some more like grounding, like tree trunks and so forth. Now I'm grabbing it's Rose of Ultramarine blue, or Rose of Ultramarine is a purple, and then there's a Alizeran Crimson I blended in, and we're trying to create a
a little more of those red colors and maybe more branches and things that are connected to those tree trunks, twigs and branches.
Yeah, so I'm going to decide more where his body is here. Like I said, I need to look at a photograph, probably to get proportions right of the bird. And we're just kind of moving along here. I'm going to add a bit of that black around the edge of the bird here too. Let it flow with the black, or with the aquamarine, I'm sorry, that's what I meant. And just kind of let that kind of interrupt and, yeah. Bring some more, I like just dotting in blacks here and there. It just adds some definition to the painting and some perspective as well to the space. Okay, yeah, I will definitely probably come back into this and add shimmery fun into this, and maybe some topaz and so on too. Alright, those images are easier. The bird is the hardest part. I do see his right here. I keep trying to avoid brown. I'm trying to figure out where his body is. What I'm going to do, since it's late tonight, I'm going to come back to this tomorrow when there's more light, because I'm coming at it in the evening. And we'll get into the face and the body shape and the tail more. I can tell that the tail is pretty much here. So I can kind of start to bring out that tail by bringing in some of the dark. I guess the lunar black is getting my vote for defining, and I don't usually like to outline things in black too much, but if you do that and then you just kind of pull it out a little bit, so soften the edge, and then bring in some other colors, good. Bring a little more of that aquamarine. I love that Duochrome Aquamarine. It is beautiful in there, and it'll be very subtle, but and I'll bring some around here around his tail. I'm just doing the lower part because I can see it right now, and then I'll have to move my camera and be able to get up into the face up there. Just kind of dot some of that aquamarine in there into some of the atmosphere. Okay, that's probably all until I can detail out his body form, which I probably should. This is about as close as I can get to what I'm trying to define on this bird. This one's mouth is open. I don't think mine will be, but you can see that he's kind of turned away from us, and his head's turned a little this way to the side, but his wings are here, and then the tail is the back of the tail. And I really kind of like that, and I kind of want to infer that here, because I do see, really see sort of that wing right here. Okay, and I'm just drawing with a pencil that is a watercolor pencil of mine. That's a bronzy color that kind of goes with the colors in the painting, bronzy brown color.
Here I'm detailing more around the bird with my watercolor pencils. And after that, I take lemon yellow and some interference topaz, or iridescent topaz, excuse me, and I put those into the bird. And also looking at that photograph of the bird is showing the wings are basically in the front, and he's kind of turned his head to the side. That was kind of quick, but so I detail the wings, or I begin to here, and I'm debating putting white into the bird as well, but I'm starting with the lemon yellow, and then I start to work a little into the beak, and you know, just kind of further defining it little by little, working around the bird. I take a very black, lunar black there, and start detailing the wing, and realize there that I need a lot more of that contrast, of that dark black in the painting to make that bird start to stand out.
So, as you can see, I kept outlining the bird. This was my sort of my guide, and again, it's an abstraction, so I'm not going to, I may do more just to, I started to kind of hint at leaves here and trunk here, and you know, the tail may be a little short, but you know, I don't know. I think I've got the essence of the bird in the abstract, which is kind of where I was going with this. And I added some more of the blue around, but it's kind of almost mosaic-like, and I like that about it. And it's not meant to be, you know, an exact replication. It's an abstracted piece, right? And I'll show you how it looked before. I have a photo that's pretty much before I added all the detail and the lines in to create the bird. So I hope you like this. Oh, and I just wanted to just grab a mat and show you that once you mat them, it even cleans it up a little more if I can get the mat on straight here. And a little more light here. And so once you've got that on, you start to see a more finished look. And then I may put another branch in here. I've got the one branch coming up. I kind of like the idea of another one maybe here. Again, I always finish these a little more. I hope you enjoyed this, though. I do work like this. It is unusual, kind of a backwards approach, right, to getting a abstract piece, right? But that's one way I wanted to show you. And we can talk again if you're interested. I will talk about other ways to do abstract. This is just one way. And it's really, they're fun, and they're much more sometimes unique, expressive, oftentimes, and more, what do I say, personal. You know, it's not just a replication of something that you see, but it's something where you interpret what you see. Okay, thank you so much for watching. This was really a challenge for me too, but also fun, and gets me back into things I used to do and love to do. So take care, and why don't you give something fun a try like this, get real crazy with the paints, and then see what you see in it, and then pull it out by detailing and maybe bringing in, you know, more lights and darks to accentuate. Okay, love you. Thank you so much for joining me, and please come back. When I get back from vacation, we're going to be maybe being inspired by the Au Sable River, so I'm really excited Maybe we'll do an abstract of that. Take care. Bye for now.